I get many questions from guys having problems with relapses whenever they get out of a flatline. Many say that during the flatline they had little to no urges, so they're doing fine then, but as soon as libido comes back they start struggling more again. And this is exactly what we are going to talk about today. Scandinavian Bob here, hi, yeah, a real voice and person behind this video, who has been involved in the porn addiction community now for more than a decade. So if you're getting sick of all these fake AI videos out there, consider subscribing. Okay, so let me start by saying this. During a reboot, the way cravings show up will change. In the early stages, they are more addiction related, where most guys experience them as really sharp cravings when their brain is screaming for a dopamine fix. Later on, though, once you've been through the flatline, the urges often take on a different feel, and now they become less and less about getting a desperate dopamine fix, and the cravings you feel now can come more from your natural libido. You know, a bit similar to feeling hungry or thirsty. But urges are urges, and they can, of course, make you relapse back to adult sites. So what do you do then when they come storming back after a flatline? Well, you deal with them the same way you did before the flatline, by riding them out instead of fighting them head on. This is called urge surfing, by the way. But here's the key: have a backup plan. A replacement activity you can shift into when you have those days when the urges are extra stubborn and they just won't let go. This is especially important if you haven't fully built your urge surfing muscles yet. And here's the deal: even if you had little to no urges during your flatline, you should still practice your surfing skills and think about how you can quickly resort to your replacement activity should you need to do so when the flatline ends. You know, kind of like a fire drill at your workplace. Think about it. They too are practiced when there's no fire, and by doing so in advance, it's so much easier to find the right way out when or if it happens for real. Well, this is what I tell my clients all the time, even those who are not in a flatline. I say, if you have a few days without any urges, you still need to remind yourself of exactly what you will do when they come. In other words, you pretend that you're having urges, even if you don't, but then you actually go and do your emergency plan for real. Yes, you actually get up from your computer and do it. Maybe your replacement activity is going for a walk, or doing the Wim Hof breathing exercise, or whatever. But the big point is that you need to keep your emergency routine in fresh memory so that you are ready to execute it whenever those urges come for real. Another way to keep reminding yourself of this is, of course, by journaling. Yes, I've said it so many times now, but during your reboot, you need to have a rebooting journal. It is a phenomenal mental tool that you can use for so many things. And this is also true when it comes to reminding yourself of how to act when you are hit by urges. For example, if I take a look at my old rebooting journal today, I can see pages upon pages where I wrote down things like, for example, okay, so today was smooth sailing, but tomorrow I have a music gig at 6 p.m. And since that is a stressful event, it also means that the relapse risk will be much higher tomorrow at night. So be aware of that. And then I also wrote down some precautions and steps I could take to minimize the risk. But just the act of writing it down in the first place is often good enough, since it will remind your brain and help it stay on top of the game. And speaking of flatline, if you think you have got out of the flatline now, but still feel a bit shaky in the bedroom, I have made a short Manhood guide that you can get for free by using the link under the video. It's just a really short PDF file with some tools and tips on how to get more vitality and, you know, a more solid manhood, if you know what I mean. Alright? This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. Consider subscribing for more helpful videos. And as always, I wish you all the best on your journey to become a dopamine-focused warrior.